are untouchable. We are unstoppable, and we are undisputed.
What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are doing a brand new figure review, and this is my first real in-depth non-WWE figure review. If this is your first time watching my videos at all, usually I do videos on WWE action figures, but I'm trying to diversify my content a bit, so I want to bring in Marvel Legends and Star Wars The Black Series and stuff like that. I believe this is only like my 5th, maybe 6th Star Wars The Black Series figure. It's actually my first one from the original trilogy. All my other ones are from either the sequels or the prequels or one from Rogue One. But today we have the Archive Wave Luke Skywalker in his pilot gear. For those of you who aren't familiar with what the Archive Wave is, they're actually re-releasing some old Star Wars The Black Series figures that like sold a lot. So there you can see the Luke Skywalker on the back. I'll get a zoom in there in just a moment on that. But this Luke was released in, I believe, Series 1. And it sold really well, obviously, so they wanted to get it back on the shelves for collectors or for anyone who missed out on it like me. And kind of a funny story is back when I was a kid, when this figure actually originally came out, I used to collect the Star Wars, the Clone Wars era sort of Star Wars figures, like the 3.75 inch scale. And I actually saw this figure on the shelf like multiple times, and I always thought the bigger figures were cool, but I just wasn't really into 6-inch scale. And then I got into that Star Wars, got into Marvel Legends and WWE, and then I started buying Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch figures. And then I've actually thought about this figure multiple times, saying, oh, I really wish I would have bought it way back. It would have been really cool to have now. But knowing me, playing with it and all that, it probably would have been destroyed anyways. But we do have this re-release. There you can see Luke Skywalker out of his packaging. But as always, we're going to go ahead and start things off by taking a look at his accessories. Getting into accessories here, you can see Luke does include 3 of them, and I think these accessories are all very, very great. Starting things off here, we have his X-Wing fighter pilot helmet. It's got the Rebel insignias on both sides, which look very, very nice. It's got sort of a transparent little yellow color there for the visor, which is quite good. It's got his little chin strap here. It is made out of a flexible rubber material, so it's, you know, it's pretty bendable. You can see lots of weathering on there, which makes this thing look even nicer. We get all sorts of little designs, the little black stripes there. It looks absolutely amazing, but just the detail on this helmet alone is absolutely awesome. There you can see the inside of it. And now putting it on Luke's head, I've heard other people haven't had too much trouble, but I think mine was just a bit warped when I took it out of the packaging. But let me try to do it again on here. Once I did it the first time, it started getting to be like a lot easier. But for me, I think mine was like squished inwards a little bit, almost pinched. So it just took a bit of messing around with the first time. But once you just get it down enough, it's just a matter of like adjusting the chin strap so that it's not a mouth guard. There, I did manage to get it. And yeah, this thing sits really well. It doesn't like inhibit the articulation at all whatsoever. And yeah, this helmet just looks so nice on this figure. It's not too big or anything. Yeah, I definitely like this Rebel pilot helmet a lot. Up next here, we do get this Rebel pistol, the DL-44, same one as like Han Solo uses. And this thing looks really nice. I especially love like the little brown paint on the handle. The silver here is nice, and just the gunmetal black. Overall, it's just a really nice weapon. And his right hand does have a trigger finger, so it actually, like, you know, it'll hold on to it quite nicely. I'm sorry, it's hard to do this when you're looking through your viewfinder, but there we go. You can see that his hand holds it quite perfectly, and I really do like how this gun looks. It's just an iconic Star Wars weapon, right up there with the lightsaber. And of course, that finally brings us to our last weapon, the Skywalker lightsaber, passed down to Luke from Anakin, of course, like, well, through Obi-Wan, but from Anakin, and then on to Rey, of course. This is not Rey's lightsaber. It will always be the Skywalker lightsaber. But yeah, this accessory is great. The paint on it isn't the best. I've certainly seen better. It's got a little hook on the bottom, so you can actually port this onto his belt right there. There's just this little hook right here. So of course you just slide the hole into the hook and then it'll hang off kind of awkwardly. I'll show you guys that better in a moment, but you can actually also remove the lightsaber blade from it too. So yeah, you've got the blue blade and then just the Skywalker hilt. So now I'll show you guys what it looks like whenever you port it on the figure, and then we'll get into the figure itself. Here you can see Luke Skywalker up close, and starting off with this head scan, I think that is spot on to Mark Hamill in that time period. It looks like they've got some sort of like a True Effects technology or something like that. Mine does have a little bit of a bruise on his nose there. Hopefully we can get that off, but yeah, I think it looks quite good. It looks a lot like Mark Hamill from this time. Obviously he's aged a lot since A New Hope, but yeah, it looks great. He's got his nice little mullet sort of hairstyle. Then moving on down, we get all sorts of texturing on this jumpsuit and the Rebel pilot gear. It looks really, really nice. He's got his little panel box here with all sorts of different colors and buttons and all this stuff that looks really, really great. He's got this little wire that comes down and like plugs into his torso there, and that's you know, molded on. You can like move it around, so that's quite nice. And then moving on down there, you can see the Skywalker lightsaber, and it is attached to that little hook right there, so you can, if I can grab it without this middle piece getting in the way of it, you can easily remove the lightsaber and then just like put it on this little hook right there, and it sits there pretty nicely. So yeah, that does look quite good. He's got his orange jumpsuit, some things on the side here in his like pockets or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what you want to call that. He's got the white armor vest on. Then he's got his black gloves there. His hand is included, of course, because you know he hasn't had it cut off yet. This is based on A New Hope. We got the other hand with the trigger finger, so he could hold the gun and the lightsaber at the same time, which is pretty nice. We do have this gray thing that comes down and like goes around his legs that does inhibit leg articulation a little bit unless you like pull it up, but oh well, it's a pretty nice detail to have. Anyways, I'd much rather have that than have it painted on and have the articulation. Then he's got these little things attached to his boots here. I'm not exactly sure what you want to call that, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like a bullet loop or something. And then he does have some small little black boots down here, so that is his Rebel attire right there. Very, very nice. I don't have any real proper comparisons to get into, so I guess I'll just show them off next to all my Star Wars figures. There you can see my entire Star Wars The Black Series collection next to Luke. We've got the Black Series Kylo Ren right here, his favorite nephew, of course. We've got my most recent one, this General Grievous, and I absolutely love this. This is probably my favorite out of the bunch. I just picked this up a few weeks ago, and I wish I reviewed it because, man, this figure is so freaking cool. Over here we have my first one, which is the First Order Stormtrooper. I guess that could sort of work, but they do look a lot different than the Imperial Stormtroopers. And then this guy is probably the one that would work best with this Luke, because it's closest, I guess, to the time period. We got the Rogue One Death Trooper. So yeah, I've got 4 villains and 1 hero. I think it's time I get Luke a friend. And finally, getting into the articulation with this figure, the head articulation is amazing, and as I showed, look at this. Look, that's just so amazing. Look at that head. Like, oh my god, that's some of the best I've ever seen. And like I showed earlier, when you put the helmet on, it's just like not affected whatsoever. It still moves literally just the same. So you get that nice pivot and the little jiggle, and it moves all the way around 360 degrees. Doesn't get inhibited whatsoever by that amazing Rebel pilot helmet, but sometimes it's a bit of a pain to come off. But there we go, we got it off. And then he does have a diaphragm joint, so you can move it side to side, as well as pretty far up and pretty far down. And I'm not sure if this thing is going to inhibit it at all. Actually, this part looks like it's attached to the top piece, so I take that thought back altogether. But we get the full arm rotation, of course, and they do come out. I haven't messed with this figure too much, so it's still going to be just a little bit tight, but we do get a single jointed elbow. It would be nice to see a double jointed one there, but Star Wars doesn't do that. The wrists rotate and they move in and out, which is very nice for holding the lightsaber and doing all that sort of stuff. This hand is, of course, the same as the other one. Now, the only inhibited part really is this leg. It doesn't move out. Like, the legs will not move out because of this molded piece, but I guess you could like try to really pull it up like that and move it out more, but yeah, it's not really gonna work out too well for you. But he can move it out decently far, and same with back. We get double jointed knees, which is very nice. Get the swivel at the top of the hip right there. We get the swivel at his boots as well. The ankle move out and in and out, of course. We get a nice crisp ankle joint. No sort of a little bit of pivot, but it's really not that noticeable. I think that's just the boot itself moving all together. But that is pretty well your articulation for Luke Skywalker. So that is going to do it for my review on this Star Wars The Black Series Archive Wave Luke Skywalker from A New Hope. This pilot Luke figure is absolutely amazing. I definitely recommend it if you missed out on the first one, or if you just like it in general. Like, it's a really cool Luke Skywalker figure. It's going to be very hard to get your hands on the Series 1 version, but this thing just lives up to it, I'm sure. I can't exactly compare because I don't have the old one, but from the review videos that I have seen, this one does live up to it. So if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to hit the like button and let me know down in the comments below if you want to see some more Star Wars The Black Series reviews. My new background for my review video should be coming soon. I'm actually going to pick it up right after this, so you guys might even see that unboxing video before this video. But anyways, I'm going to have some pictures roll at the end, just try to do a few posed ones. I'm not sure how that's going to work with the other characters I have to work with, but I'm still going to do it anyways. So enjoy. I will see you guys in the next video.